All right, I'm doing another Murdle. This is the game where you solve a murder mystery, and we've got our little grid that we can check things off here. It's kind of like the old game of Clue. I'm going to click the little light icon so that I can see the things a little bit better. This is the confusing case of the Scorpio with the pencil. The occult had never been Detective Logico's area of expertise, but when a meddling teen is killed in a spooky castle, you have to do your best. All right, so let's look at our suspects. We've got Admiral Navy, Baron Maroon, and Dame Obsidian. Okay. Weapons are a ghost projector, a pencil, and a monster costume. Most of those don't actually sound that dangerous, but okay. The spooky woods, the dungeon, and a secret chamber. All right, we have one weapon, one suspect, and one location all matched up. We have some clues and evidence. We've got some statements. Okay, we've done that before. All right, let's do clues and evidence first. A Scorpio had the pencil. So let's figure out who the Scorpio is. Cancer, Scorpio, Leo. So it is Baron Maroon is the Scorpio. Baron Maroon had the pencil. All right, easy enough. There we go. Check that off. Admiral Navy was not in a secret chamber. Secret chamber was the last one there, so not in a secret chamber, okay? All right, then we have the statements from the three suspects. The innocent will always tell the truth. The guilty will always lie. So one of these statements is a lie. Two of them are true. That's basically what it is. So my honor as a seaman, a monster costume was in the spooky woods. Well, this is the monster costume. Could be in the spooky woods. We don't really know. Dame Obsidian said it was like something from one of my books. I was in the dungeon. Okay, Obsidian is the black one. Could have been in the dungeon. We don't really know. Baron Maroon says a ghost projector was in the dungeon. A ghost projector was in the dungeon. Interesting. Well, if Obsidian and Maroon are both telling the truth, then Obsidian had the ghost projector and was in the dungeon. In which case, Navy had the monster costume, but yeah, we don't know much else. We know one of them is lying. So the thing is, if the last two are true, right? We said then Obsidian would be in the dungeon with the ghost projector, right? Let's do a question mark. We'll just tentatively put this in. I suspect we're gonna get a contradiction here. I think I know what's going on maybe. So we would know that, right? And so then we would know that this was true. Ghost projector in the dungeon, and it would have to be Obsidian. So then we would know that Navy had the monster costume. But monster costume in the spooky woods would have to be a lie. So monster costume could not be in the spooky woods, which would mean the monster costume and Navy would have to be in the dungeon, but Navy can't be in the dungeon if Obsidian is in the dungeon. Therefore, the last two can't both be true because the first one would also have to be true. That's what's going on. If the last two are true, then the first one is also true. Therefore, the first one can't be the only lie. So therefore, the first one is true. Hope you followed all that. Monster costume was in the spooky woods. Hold on. Monster costume was in the spooky woods. There we go. Okay, so we can say that much. Now, we also know that the pencil was not in the spooky woods, right? And the pencil was maroon, so maroon was not in the spooky woods. Okay, so now let's think about so one of these two is true, one of them is a lie. So let's assume that Dame is telling the truth, Obsidian is telling the truth. I was in the dungeon, so she was in the dungeon, right? Let's go ahead and do our question mark. Dame is in the dungeon. So that means the last one has to be the lie then. The ghost projector was not in the dungeon, which means the ghost projector had to be in the secret chamber, okay? Which means the ghost projector cannot be Obsidian. Obsidian would have to be the monster costume, which the monster costume is in the spooky woods. So that does not work. So Dame Obsidian cannot be telling the truth. So therefore, Dame Obsidian is not in the dungeon, and the ghost projector is in the dungeon. Is in the dungeon, which we can do all of that. And then we know that Obsidian is not in the dungeon. Ghost projector is in the dungeon. She could not have the ghost projector. She has the monster costume. There we go. Very nice. I liked this one a lot. It was a little more thinking involved than just checking off clues, as it sometimes has been. So I think I've got these all correct now. And since we know the liar was the guilty one, and we know Dame Obsidian was the one that was lying, we know that she is the killer. So Dame Obsidian with the monster mask in the spooky woods. Monster costume in the spooky woods. I assume the costume includes a mask. All right, make our accusation, and we're gonna see if we're right. Hey, there we go. All right, very nice. Well, I definitely enjoyed this one more than some of the other ones, because sometimes it felt on the other ones, and obviously some of them are supposed to be easier and some are supposed to be harder, but some of the other ones it felt like you read the thing and it's like, this person was not there. It's like, okay, well, I'll just make an X. Like, there's not really much deduction involved, so I liked this a lot. All right. While Dame Obsidian protested her innocence, she lost confidence as Detective Logico explained the case against her, and she knew she was caught. So make a great plot for a future book, she announced. She was led away. And that concludes the confusing case of the Scorpio with the pencil. Very nice. Which is funny that that's the name of the case, and that was our first clue. But they almost could have just left that clue out because it was in the title, although I didn't notice it in the title because I don't pay that much attention to the titles. But anyways, all right. Well, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought. Were you able to follow the logic? Were you able to figure it out yourself? Let me know how this went for you today. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more mysteries.